They don't want you to know this, but Tinubu has 3 secret weapons to rig 2027 elections. And right now, those 3 weapons, they are working perfectly. Weapon 1, a system that lets politicians steal votes and face no consequences. Weapon 2, keeping millions of Nigerians trapped in poverty so that they can sell their votes for 10,000 naira, 5,000 naira, 1,000 naira just to buy one plate of food. But weapon 3 is the dirtiest of them all. And it's already happening in your state. Stay tuned, because what I'm about to reveal next will change how you see Nigerian politics forever. What are these 3 weapons that Tinubu has? Number 1, voter, and they all lead to voter apathy. I must stress. All of these 3 weapons lead to voter apathy. Voter apathy is the biggest secret superpower that Nigerians can give to Tinubu. It's not that he has it. It can only be given to Tinubu by the Nigerian people. Voter apathy. And once he gets voter apathy from the people of Nigeria, then these secret weapons that make up that voter apathy, that leads to voter apathy, they become 100% effective, and the election of 2027 will be rigged in favor of Tinubu, and Peter Obi will be rigged out. Is that what you want? Or do you want a free and fair system? I want a free and fair system. So, whatever it takes, we must expose these 3 secret weapons so that Nigerians can take corrective action to prevent rigging in 2027. Remember, if only 25 million out of the 94 million registered voters with PVC come out, that is voter apathy. And that is what makes rigging of elections to be easy for anybody that wants to rig elections. So we must tackle voter apathy. And it starts by identifying what these 3 weapons are. The number 1 weapon that Tinubu and any other person can use is weaponized impunity. Like I said earlier, weaponized impunity is a system, a deliberate system that has been put in place right now in Nigeria to make sure that politicians rig elections using INEC officials, using thugs, using compromised security agents, even using compromised judicial officers. They rig elections and they go scot-free without any consequence. This is impunity. In case you don't know, it has a demoralizing effect. It breaks the Nigerian spirit to fight and resist. Is it not being weaponized again in Nigeria right now ahead of 2027? Is it not? If we must take care of this weapon of weaponized impunity, we must begin to hold individuals responsible for the impunity, the violation of rule of law, because that's what impunity is. The violation of due process. That is what impunity is. Every single one of the individuals that are responsible for violating our rule of law, our due process, particularly with respect to elections, they must be made to face justice. They must be brought to justice. They must be made to pay. If they have done the crime, then they must do the time. That is how we cure impunity. And once we are able to cure impunity, guess what? The spirit of Nigerians are lifted, and then they turn out massively towards election and to vote their candidate of choice. Right now, are we not hearing that people are saying, oh, Tinubu has written elections in 2027 or for 2027. And we saw what happened in 2023. How collation officers in collation centers did what they did. How security agents did what they did, compromised ones. How thugs did what they did. How INEC did what they did. How the judiciary did what they did. So if we are going to lift the spirit of Nigerians so they don't give up like many of them have given up, many of them are saying, oh, there's no point voting in 2027 that the Tinubu has already written the election results. That is demoralizing. So what will happen if nothing is done to tackle this weaponized impunity is that even the 25 million Nigerians that used to come out and vote, we won't see them in 2027. So we must deal with this weaponized impunity using law patrol. Kickoff is July 1, 2025. Ensure that you participate in law patrol. We'll give more details shortly. But let's move on to the second weapon. Like I said, the third weapon is what you should watch out for. It is the dirtiest of them all. The third weapon is the dirtiest of them all, and it is what Nigerians need to know the most. But let's focus on the second weapon now, which is weaponized poverty. Many Nigerians are angry. They wonder how it seems like we are suffering from Stockholm syndrome, where Nigerian voters seem to now be worshiping their oppressors. They wonder why Nigerians will come out and sell their votes for as little as 1,000 naira, sometimes even 500 naira. We saw the videos from Kano and Katsina, where women and children and voters were being given 500 naira to sell their vote. You wonder why Nigerians do that. In fact, some Nigerians, like Buba Galadima, are so angry with Nigerians for doing this that they say they are happy that Tinubu is punishing Nigerians. But the question they have failed to ask, what led to it? If you understand what led to Nigerians selling their votes for 500 naira, 1,000 naira, then you will understand why they behave the way they do. And then you'll be able to take corrective action to de-weaponize this weaponized poverty. Poverty has been weaponized. And if we do not take care to de-weaponize poverty, we will come here after February of 2027, after the elections, and we'll start crying. Why are Nigerians selling their votes? Why are Nigerians selling their votes? I don't want to cry. I want to leave no stone unturned to make sure that whatever needs to be done is done to turn out those 94 million Nigerians that have PVC. To turn them out, to completely crush voter apathy. Because we make the mistake of thinking that election rigging is only about buying votes or manipulating election results. No, you can only manipulate election results at collation centers, right? You can only do that. You can only rig elections when voters don't turn out. Many times you hear analysts say that, oh, you can only rig elections in places where you have strength. What is that strength? It is voter turnout, large support base. So if Nigerians come out in their numbers, it will be difficult for anybody, no matter who they are, whether it is Tinubu or Akpabio, it will be difficult for them to rig. It will be difficult. So we must take care of these things. Weaponized poverty is as dangerous as writing results. In fact, even more dangerous because it creates the enabling environment for INEC officials to write and manipulate results. So how do we de-weaponize poverty? How do we ensure that Nigerians' minds are set free to be able to see they should not sell their votes for 1,000? It goes beyond just educating the people or just talking about it. We need to take decisive action, and that action is well-fund. Well-fund is a system that empowers the people by teaching them to fish, not teaching them, helping them to fish rather than give them fish. Giving them fish plays into the system of palliative economy. palliative democracy, where politicians weaponize poverty, they make millions of Nigerians poor by looting public funds, and they take a fraction of that loot to dangle in front of a few of the poor 100 million Nigerians. And then the person who dances to their music the best is what they give, and others, because of the law of competition, will now begin to wish that they are the favorites of these same corrupt politicians. We must de-weaponize poverty ahead of 2027 elections. If not, we'll still have voters coming to sell their votes and politicians buying. If there's no willing seller, there will be no willing buyer. If politicians come to the polling unit with their bags of money and Nigerian citizens are not interested in it, or Nigerian citizens collect that money and still vote the way they want, what do you expect? They won't bother to be buying votes anymore. They won't bother to allocate monies to buy votes anymore. They will now focus and do the right thing. We must de-weaponize poverty. And the only way to do that right now in Nigeria is well-funded. Now, I said the third part is the one that is most dangerous, is the dirtiest of them all, because we do not see how it is connected to voter apathy. We have established how voter apathy is connected to election rigging, and that if we want free and fair elections, then we must deal with voter apathy and ensure free and fair elections. The third weapon at Tinubu's disposal, and Peter Obi has said this many times, is weaponized political parties. When you have weaponized political parties, you have a breeding ground for weaponized impunity. The likes of what Abure is doing in Labour Party, the likes of what Wike is doing in PDP is weaponized impunity. And that leads to weaponized political parties. And what does that mean? It means that credible candidates don't even have a chance. They don't even have half a chance. Credible candidates. Because of the way political parties operate in Nigeria right now, only people with deep pockets, only people close to people who have looted, only people who know somebody who has looted, or people who have looted can afford political party nomination fees, can afford money for delegates. Because every time you have a political party that uses a delegate system for their internal political party primaries, what you have is a system of corruption that presents some few members of the political party to be bought. They buy delegates. Once you have a delegate system, they are open to be bought. In fact, people then struggle to become delegates so they can make quick money during elections. Weaponized political parties. So if we must have credible candidates, and remember, and this is important, if credible candidates do not show up, if credible Nigerians do not participate in the system, and Nigerians do not see credible alternatives, what happens? Voter apathy. And this is what Tinubu wants. So by weaponizing the political parties, he ensures that the political parties helps him to weaponize impunity. And then what happens? Voter apathy. We must take care of these. These are the three weapons of Tinubu. And the cure for weaponized political party is political party reforms. But that also depends on the same people responsible for the system. So we took it a notch further. Abundance Party of Nigeria. You and I must come to form this party together. We can form this party in the next 30 days. If you cooperate with us. We're on track to doing it. We will tackle INEC to make sure it is done. Even if it is the last thing that we do. We will do it. We will do our best to make sure that political parties are not weaponized against credible candidates in 2027. And that credible candidates have the level playing field to come up, to be thrown up, to be elected. And so, with other measures put in place, we guarantee free and fair elections and we take Nigeria back. This is the only way the new Nigeria that we know is possible can be made to happen. This is the only way. So details to each and every one of these solutions are in the description. But the one that I want you to participate in right now is polling unit marshal. Because that way we ensure that the elections of 2027 is 100% transparent. And that is because we know that a transparent election is an election that puts INEC in check, that leaves INEC no room to manipulate or rig elections for whoever. So polling unit marshal, volunteer to be one of them. 600,000 is our target, and they will help us to impute polling unit results from the polling units directly into our Vote Vision election application. We can do it, Nigerians. All we need to do is be smart about it. We have come up with the application. We have the technology. What we need is the people. Will you volunteer? Or will you stay and continue to complain without taking action? Remember what they say. Plenty talk, not the full basket. Now action, now we need now. And the action starts with you volunteering for polling unit marshal. Volunteer. And then share this video so that more people will see. It's not a video that people want to watch or like to watch. No, it's a video that people need to watch. But because there are a lot of distractions out there, they don't have time to watch this kind of video. So you can guide them. And that is why we're also taking it up a notch. We are creating a network of polling unit marshal across Nigeria to do physical door-to-door, person-to-person evangelism. This country, we must take it back from the criminals that have captured it. Not for our sakes only, for the sakes of our children and our children's children. We need a country that works for all. We need a new Nigeria, and we know it is possible. It's just that it needs you to volunteer as a polling unit marshal. Links are in the description.